Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, welcome back to the channel. And we got to have a roundtable discussion about this. I know that there's been a lot of conversation going on about what's going on with Hope Logan. I know some folks are saying, oh, does she have something going on inside of her head? Or is this just her decisions that she's making as a grown woman? You know what? We're going to discuss that. But before we do, make sure you're subscribed to this channel for more videos just like this. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about whether this is Hope's mental issues or grown woman decisions. So, before we do the deep dive into this video, I want to start off by saying a couple of things. First, I am not just a Hope fan. I am not just a Steffi fan. I am a soap fan. So before we go into that, I want to put that out there. Number two, this is a soap. Yes, I know that. However, it's fun when we have these conversations because, hey, we're talking about it anyway, so we might as well break it all down. So let's begin. First, let's talk about the iconic Hope Logan character. First, originally played by Kim Matula, and then, of course, we've had the wonderful Annika Noel, who has been knocking it out the park since she took over the role. However, with the Hope character in itself, she was painted as this virtuous young woman who was going to be on a mission to teach other girls pretty much about their virtue, which is why there was the Hope for the Future line in the first place. So let's rewind back to 2022. And if you remember this particular scene, this was actually a fantasy belonging to Thomas. However, she kind of played into the attention on that fashion show that they had because she ended up blowing off her husband Liam just to stick around and have a drink. But of course, Thomas went in for a kiss, and at that moment, it was over. As we move into the spring of 2023, we saw a barrage of fantasies by none other than Hope Logan. And of course, those fantasies, we saw the disco fantasies. We had names for all types of them, which took us to Rome. Now, as much as she was trying to resist, she made a choice in Rome on that balcony to kiss Thomas, which was a shock to the world. We all remember that last summer, and I'm telling you, it was one for the ages. Now, as much as she gave into temptation and enjoyed that kiss, she also made a choice to tell Thomas, whatever happens in Rome, it must stay in Rome. She did not want that kiss to get back to Liam. However, she couldn't help herself. She couldn't resist, and this was more of her and her attraction, especially sexual attraction that she had building from Thomas, because that kiss was only a prelude to whatever else she was craving when it came to Thomas. And because she had these feelings, she decided to make a choice to pursue such feelings because she wanted the experience with Thomas, where we called it the awakening. She chose to give in to her desires, to release what was inside of her, to experience this sexual relationship with Thomas. So much so that after that whole day of lovemaking with him, she decided to make a choice to go ahead and have divorce papers drawn up. Because at this point, she had committed infidelity in her own marriage. She made that choice, even used excuses of Liam's past behavior, even though in the past 2 years, he was pretty much Team Hope. He hadn't even looked at Steffi up to this point, unbeknownst those kisses in Rome. That's a different video. However, in this particular situation, she asked for a divorce, especially when he decided that he would not take her back after realizing that she slept with his enemy in his head, Thomas Forrester. She began choosing to be open now with this relationship with Thomas, actually putting it in Liam's face, being very open to people at Forrester, letting the world know that her and Thomas was an item. However, as much as Thomas wanted this to be a satisfying relationship that was going to lead eventually to marriage, she also made choices to let him know, no, we're going to enjoy this as it is. I just got out of my marriage. I am still grieving my marriage, even though she was the one that caused the demise of it in that moment. But at the same time, she wanted to actually be the leader in this whole situation. As we move into fall of 2023, going into 2024, we had Thomas make not only one proposal, two proposals, but also a third and final proposal. And again, in each of those situations, as much as she enjoyed sleeping with Thomas, she made the choice that she did not want to get married to Thomas. At least at that moment. Thomas now made his own personal decision that he didn't want to wait around any longer. He's getting older. He wanted to have kids. And because she wasn't on the same page as he was, and she was adamant about her choice about not wanting to get married, and she has every right to have that choice, Thomas decided to take off for Paris and leave Hope behind. Now we move into May of 2024, where Thomas returned. Hope automatically thought that Thomas was going to take her back. I guess she thought, well, you know what? If you were pining after me for over a decade, and you know how much power we had behind our relationship last year, of course he was going to come back for me. But nope. He didn't do that. He decided to get engaged to Paris Buckingham, build a family with her, and then they hightailed it right back out to Paris. Now enters Finn, and these two bonded originally from the whole situation with Sheila Carter. Now, as we remember, Hope wanted nothing to do with anything Sheila related. So much so, she told Deacon, yeah, I don't want my kids around her, so you know what? I'm going to have to take a step back from you. Well, that kind of went on the reverse, because now she wanted that relationship with her father, and because her father was marrying Finn's mother, biological mother, Sheila Carter, at this point, now there's a bonding moment with the two of them. There was her defending, which she made a choice to do that, defending the stance of Finn to her mom, to Ridge, and sometimes to even Steffi at this point, which obviously made them irritated. So where does that take us next? She began to see how faithful this Dr. John Finnegan was to Steffi. And in her mind, again, she's thinking, she's making a choice to say, this man is handsome. He doesn't have a divided heart. He doesn't have a past. He's the good guy. I want somebody like that. Why can't I have Finn? Here comes the fantasies, and it didn't help because of the fact that Finn was also being a good quote-unquote friend, helping her with the migraines, helping her with the departure of Thomas, and yeah, she thought that this was an open door to be able to build her attraction to a married man, which happened to be Steffi's husband. Her attraction continued to grow, so much so that she was having fantasies that would make her blush. The thought of him being with her, even her having well thought out conversations with her own mother, saying how much the difference is between Finn, Thomas, and Liam. How Liam, even though a good father, always had a divided heart. When it comes to Thomas, he was a one-woman man, but he had a very sordid past, whereas Finn, he was the total package that she had actually seen him to be. And at the same time, she even called him her kindred spirits. She even chose to go against her mother's wishes. Even in the design studio room downstairs when she was trying on lingerie, Finn walked in mistakenly trying to use his phone, and she seduced him, coming on to him, even though he told her that's not something that you should be doing. Can a girl dream? She did not stop. And the thing is, she made a choice to continue to do so. And after a buildup of fantasies and feelings, it takes us to the party where Danny Romalotti was there. And what did she do? Even though she was a little bit tipsy, she pulled Finn to the side and she kissed him. Of course, he pushed her away, and as much shock as she in, If it was up to her, she wanted to keep that a secret. She didn't want that to even come out. Again, another choice that she wanted to make. If it wasn't for Finn saying anything to Steffi, I'm not so sure that she would have made that choice to tell her mother about it. And we all know what was the outcome of all of this. So what's actually going on with Hope? Does this seem like a mental issue to you, or is this a situation of her just making choices to explore her youth? I mean, technically, she's probably in her late 20s, early 30s, and at this point, for the better of the first few years of her 20s, she was going back and forth fighting over Liam. And then, of course, she looked at the fact that, maybe there are other options. There are her attraction to Thomas, which she explored for better of a year, and all of the choices that she made, from everything to the kiss in Rome, trying to keep it a secret, the divorce from Liam, her choosing to take off her ring to sleep with Thomas, her turning down Thomas because she decided that she didn't want to get married right now. That's a choice. And then when it comes to Finn, she also had choices as well. She knows Steffi was married. Part of her wanted to be petty to stick it to Steffi. But the other part of her wanted to explore Finn. I mean, if this was petty, it's one thing to just be moving in action only, which is also a choice. But her having these fantasies, being flush and breathless after, dreaming about this man, she also wanted to experience Finn as well. All of these are choices. She made choices to do the things that she's doing. Now, it's different if she was kissing a mannequin of Finn or kissing a mannequin of Thomas. Thomas had a whole brain aneurysm situation going on, or a hematoma, or whatever that was pushing on certain areas of his brain that put him in a situation where he was kissing mannequins and doing crazy things. Who knows what's going on with Luna as well, because what she's doing is also very psychotic. That's different. Plus her upbringing, her mom having all this instability. Now, Brooke, there was an impression on her from her mother as well. But a lot of what we're seeing with Hope are her own choices. So in my opinion, I don't think it's a mental issue here. Who knows what the upcoming episodes are going to look like? With the writers, they can change this with whatever direction they want to go into. We'll have to see. We do know Bridget will be back. She's a doctor. We got to figure out why she's coming back. But in my opinion, and this is just for round table discussion, I think everything that has happened with regards to Thomas, Finn, and all of the decisions within are all her choices that she is free to make, but she also have to deal with all of the outcomes. Okay, my soapies, there you have it. Let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What do you think is actually going on with Hope Logan? Do you think it's actually mental issues? Or is it just her decisions that she's making as the grown and sexy woman that she is? Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time a video like this has been posted. And until the next one, I am T from Soap Corner Talk, and we will see you soon. Bye, Soapies.